Hello, I'm Andrew from Hammersmith and Fulham. Why haven't you acted on the concerns of visually impaired and other disabled people regarding the existence of floating bus stops and called a halt to their continued rollout? These bus stops prevent us from using buses independently and thus bar us from independently accessing whole areas of London. A possible solution would be to bring a key solution would be for buses to pull up direct to the pavement and for cyclists to stop and wait behind the bus in the cycle lane, ensuring their safety and that of all visually impaired and disabled bus passengers and elderly bus passengers. The report which you produced on this matter does not address our accessibility needs. You have previously promised to meet personally with representatives of the National Federation of the Blind, but you have failed to do so. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Andrew. It's a very detailed question. Could I ask how you personally have been affected? How has your day-to-day existence been affected by the arrival of these floating bus stops?
As I said, but I also use Chiswick as a shopping centre. There's a bus stop that I used to use very regularly, and I can no longer do that because I have to cross a cycle lane to get onto the pavement. And I find that I've attempted to do it, and it's confusing because when you look for the crossing, there's a danger that you cross into a cycle lane. Yes. So I end up going a further stop further on, and as a result, I think that is a breach of my human rights, and it means that I'm having to walk further, and sometimes, as we know, recently, that it rains a hell of a lot, so it's not that convenient.
It's not fair. It's definitely not fair.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it the one near Sainsbury's?
It's the one near Marks and Spencer's in Chiswick.
Yeah, okay. So I'm sort of in between the two. I know the one you mean.
What I end up doing is going to the one which is nearer Sainsbury's and walk back.
Got it.
But it adds extra time to my journey, and
the reason I ask is not just to show my grasp of the granular detail of all the issues facing Londoners at the moment, but also as someone who is not visually impaired, the one you refer to near Marks and Spencer's, it can be quite intimidating. And these are replicated all over London, Seb, where if you are visually impaired, there is nothing you can do. You cannot get to that bus stop because it involves stepping into a channel that is owned by cyclists, effectively, doesn't it?
So even worse over in the East End, in Walthamstow and so on, which are really
another reason
extremely dangerous.
Another reason to stay in West London, Andrew. I think.
Who's got money for that?
No, I can't condone that comment. Look, first of all, I've met the NFB UK twice, and I'm very happy to continue meeting. Absolutely, this is a core issue, and it goes right to the heart of the idea of co-design. And it's very important that the infrastructure that we have, we design in collaboration with users and with people who are directly affected by the implications of the designs that we put in. We should remember that segregated cycleways have saved an enormous number of lives in our city. Having a situation where the cycle network has trebled in size has enabled many more people to take up cycling, and it has enabled more sustainable travel around our city. That being said, there are clearly issues with some of the designs that we have. Not all of the designs by any means. In fact, the review that the Mayor commissioned has shown that there have been very few, only 4 collisions at these bus stops. But, of course, we have a Vision Zero in place, which is a vision for a plan for 0 injuries and deaths on our road network, on our transport network, and so 4 is unacceptable. So, of course, I want to work with all groups to ensure that that co-design is right.
So what do we think
we get aspects of design, by the way, that operate in many other countries as well.
Okay, so you might be able to tell me what it will look like, what is currently a curb cycle lane curb bus stop,
Yeah.
what will it look like?
Well, in common with design that you have when crossing any street, for example, you would have tactile paving, you would have clearly indicated crossing points for cyclists, who, by the way, like everybody else on the road, has to obey the law, which is to stop at a crossing, and to have other features that are standard design to enable partially sighted and blind people to be able to access the public realm like everybody else, as of course they should.
So it's a work in progress. I sense Andrew won't be overcome with satisfaction from your answer.
Just add that we were hoping for a personal meeting, and what we've had the opportunity to do previously is ask questions like this at Mayor's Question Time in City Hall. I don't call that an answer to the question for request for a personal meeting.
Well, keep in touch. Let me know. So can we arrange that?
I am very happy, as always,
Yeah.
to have one-to-one meetings.
And
No barrier at all.
If, with your permission, next time I see you in Chiswick, I'll check in, Andrew, and find out
Yeah.
find out whether or not
You're very welcome.
this meeting has been arranged.